On this episode of Create, we fly around with some jetpacks, create a little wood farm, lose everything only to gain it all back again, and build a fully functioning workshop with all the small Create machines I'll need to process anything. Let's get started. Now I want to talk to you about something that I'm very passionate about. Jetpacks. Create has 3 different types of jetpacks, and they each have their pros and cons. What I'm going to dub the starter jetpack, which is the copper jetpack, you can make in a crafting interface, and probably within day 2 or 3 of your world. Now the other 2, you actually have to go to the nether and grab some brass in order to make them. Each jetpack allows you to hover a certain amount of blocks in the sky. The copper and andesite ones allow you to hover 17 blocks high, whereas the brass jetpack gives you a whopping 27 blocks high. Well, Thrillash, if the copper and andesite jetpack allow you to hover the same height, why would you make the andesite jetpack? It's just so difficult to make. Well, the andesite jetpack needs furnace fuel to run, which can get expensive, but it is the fastest out of all 3. You see how fast I'm going with this guy right here? Watch what happens when I put this on. That doesn't look like I'm going faster at all. Oh, hang on, let me hit the boost button. Here we go. Look at this. So fast.
Quicker than quick, faster than fast, I am speed.
One of the other big pros of the copper jetpack is, as you can see, it's fueled by water. What that means is right when you find an ocean, you have fuel for this thing already. You don't need to use any other fuel for it. It's so easy to fill up. Whereas the andesite jetpack actually needs furnace fuel in order to run. Excuse me, Hamish, thank you. Now, because that's so expensive, I'm not sure if the speed outweighs the cost, to be honest. Personally, though, I prefer the brass jetpack. It does take water and fuel in order to run, but you get that sweet, sweet 27 height hover, as well as a decent amount of speed. And honestly, water's not difficult to get. The fact that you already need the furnace fuel for the andesite jetpack, adding water on top of that really doesn't turn me off. Plus, if you have the materials for the andesite jetpack, you already have the materials for the brass jetpack. You've already gone to the nether, you got your blaze burners, you can make brass, just make the better one. And this might just be me, but I feel like the andesite jetpack also uses fuel faster than the other ones. But using the brass jetpack, look at how tall we can get here. This is incredible. Well, Thrillash, if jetpacks are so great, why haven't you built one yet? I just remembered. I just remembered about them like yesterday. Now let's see our clipboard for today's episode. We can already go ahead and check off jetpacks. I really do need a workshop and a wood farm, and I'd like to clean up a little bit around the area, and maybe later we can go exploring for that mountain I was talking about for a dwarven fortress or dwarven kingdom. But like I said, I desperately need a workshop. Every little contraption that I've needed, like the mechanical presses or the deployers or this thingy here, and the mechanical crafter, I've had to just add to my iron farm, which, you know, gets gross, and then the iron farm gets overstressed and everything's running really slowly. I really need a dedicated building where I can have huge water wheels and some windmills and eventually maybe a steam engine to run all the little contraptions I need in order to build all the Create stuff I can dream of. And honestly, I think this area right here is going to be the best for building the workshop of our dreams. It's nice and flat. We can use some of the natural landscape, like maybe throw a pond right in here where we can have our water wheels. It can be spilling over the edge here. And I gotta be honest, I don't have a design in mind at all. I've been trying to go on the internet and find some inspiration with some real-life Victorian warehouses and workshops. But it might be something that we just need to build on the fly. And speaking of building things on the... Whoa, hey there, gentlemen. How are ya? Let me just deal with these nerds real quick. I really need to shut their spawning off. Anyways, I would really like to throw a wood farm in probably about right here, maybe right here. Just grab a couple of more windmills and get some wood going, because even using the mechanical saw, chopping these things down myself is just so tedious. Isn't this just first world problems? I get just immediate breakage of trees, and I'm like, oh, it's just so tedious. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna cry about it. That's what... Ugh. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna put a wood farm in real quick. Well, here they go, all spinning away, and let me tell you, storage is gonna be a major issue for this farm. I mean, the dark oak already is just absolutely filling up. The jungle behind me, I decided to go with the 2x2 trees, the big ones, the big tall guys, as you can see, and that one is filling up really quick too. This is gonna become a problem, because this whole barrel, where is it, is almost full of dark oak already. Yeah, we're 460, we're at 554. This is great. This is fantastic, but oh boy, is this gonna become a problem at some point. Now, I've got an idea for more kissy stuff, just like we have behind us in the garden, where they can just connect onto some storage vaults, some item vaults, and, you know, they'll be able to shut off eventually with those, what are they, redstone switches or threshold switches or whatever they are. But that's a problem for future Throwlash, so, you know, it sucks to be that guy, I guess. Future Throwlash is so upset. Yo, one of the worst things happened. Oh my gosh, I was down in the mines. Let me just free cam down there. I'm down in the mines. Look at this tunnel. I made a bigger and better contraption to mine out, and look at how absolutely massive this tunnel is. This thing is so big, we're not even gonna be able to see the end of it, but at the end of it, there was this lava lake and a little spawner that was like right over here, and I picked up the contraption. I made a whole new backpack that was green, and I put all of my create stuff in it. I put the contraption in there. Thousands of blocks that I need in order to build this warehouse of like 15 diamond ore and like 20 diamonds, and I hit Q. And I dropped the backpack into the lava. I'm so upset. This is gonna set me back hours, absolute hours. It's everything that I had for create. This is all I have left for create. Is this and a cart assembler? Now this contraption is the zombie spawner. I wish it was the big one. Now there's this everlasting upgrade you can get to put on backpacks, but look at how expensive it is. There's no way. I'm so angry with myself. I deserve to have rain forever. All right, I got it all built together again, and we already have a couple diamonds, which is pretty dope. But yeah, I'm gonna run this for a little while, see where it ends up, and hope for the best, I guess. Now look at all these resources that I silk touched out of the world. I don't have Fortune 3, I realized. I can't actually break any of these down, but we did get some diamonds, as you can see. I believe it's... Here they are. 49 diamonds here in this one, which is absolutely fantastic. I can go ahead and make another pick and hopefully get some Fortune 3 here going. But as you can see, up in the top, we have at least 896 pieces of tuff, which is going to be way more than enough to build a foundation here. And we got some other stuff like redstone and gold, so very successful trip. I'll have to bring this into a layer that's above deep slate so we can actually mine out things like diorite and andesite and such. Well, here I am standing on top of a giant mound of ores. This is a 3x3 thing of ores, and we're gonna, well, see how far we can get with our brand new fortune pick. All right, the whole thing's gone. Let's look at the spoils. All right, a stack and some diamonds. Way too much redstone. More redstone than I really know what to do with. And all this gold is absolutely awesome because I got a bunch of gold in here too that I haven't even taken out of this yet. So we have almost 2 stacks of diamonds now, which will help when we start getting smithing templates and all that sort of stuff. I needed some levels so I can enchant some stuff, and I made this horrendous looking box behind me. So as you can see, I have a little bit of a windmill here. It looks horrendous, don't worry about it. And inside we have that blaze spawner that we took from the nether in that minecart contraption. And the windmill is just making these belts, mechanical belts, cheapers, go super fast, so the blazes come right down to me. And hello, that's my face. And I can take my sword and just swippity swipe at these little nerds here. What's nice about using the path block is they can't see me. I have a hopper underneath it, and we're getting a ton of fuel, which means I will never have to use lava to fuel this thing again, which means I'll never accidentally throw something in lava again, hopefully. But that's not all I've been up to, folks. Nope, I've also built this, which is our nice little pond here. Sorry about that. That gave me vertigo. Built our little pond here that's going to have a place for our water wheels here. Don't worry, I'm gonna make an actual like river that goes down for our workshop. So I actually am really proud of this. I wish we had some mud. I could make some mud. I have enough sand for glass, but making mud just takes forever. And it's so tedious, but I've got some rice here for some decoration. I'm gonna grab some bamboo, and eventually once we get some bees, I'll make cattails so we can put around this thing as well. But it's just a nice quaint little pond. It's super cute. I love it. It's super easy to make. I do need some lily pads. Anyways, let's lay the foundation for this thing finally. Oh my gosh, it's finally done. This took me ages, absolutely ages, and for a number of reasons. The first one being that I usually build all of my buildings in creative first, and then I recreate them in survival, as close as I can to how I created them in creative. On a create world where okay, way too much. And secondly, life kind of got in the way a little bit while I was creating this because I've got kids and I've got a full-time job and a partner, and I also have some other hobbies that I've talked about before, and I went away for a good 3 or 4 days to get some other stuff done, and I just didn't really have a lot of time to do this, but it is done. I really think it looks fantastic. It's 90% done. You see above us right here, I think I want to put a windmill in because I think that the 3 water wheels we have on front aren't going to cut it, unfortunately, for power in this place. And over on this side, I want to put a little more decoration. It might just be kind of something like this, where we have the fluid tanks that are sitting here doing literally nothing, but it'll just be some nice decoration. Yeah, these 4 water wheels together, I think, are only giving about 2,000 stress units, so I think having a giant windmill up here in the top. Oh yeah, let's go inside. Hi, here's the inside of this build. If anybody knows anything that would look better here, that would be super fantastic. Let me know. But we also have an upstairs. It's not 100% done, but it's getting there. And then up here, I think right there is where the windmill would be. If we head out this way, we have our little balcony, and the windmill would just stick out a little bit. I want to get it past this here, and I don't think it'll look super weird with just huge spinning blades going across right here. On the inside, we're gonna put in on this first floor a bunch of our basic machines that we're going to be using all the time. Some things include this mechanical press here. These mechanical crafters are all gonna go in there. And now I just need to figure out where in the heck I actually want all this stuff to go, because I want to think about this. This is going to be something I'm going to be in here all the stinking time. I want to make sure that everything is in a good location. I want some storage in here, and I'm thinking this wall or maybe this wall would be good for storage. I don't think it would make sense with this wall because the door would swing open all the way. Obviously, this is Minecraft. It doesn't have to make sense, but a little bit of realism is nice. So maybe this wall with some storage would be nice, and I'm thinking like, you know, iron and iron sheets, maybe some gold are valuables that we're going to be using for create, andesite alloys, zinc, yada yada yada. I think would be really great to have in this wall. Maybe some wood over here as well. Things that we're going to be using in different contraptions and whatnot. So maybe that means in this area here is where we'll put a lot of our contraptions. Now, obviously, one of the easiest things to do would just be to throw everything on a wall somewhere. Let me just put this right on this basin here. Throw everything on a wall somewhere and call it good. Just everything's lined up against the wall, and then you have this big old open space in the center. And I don't think that's how a workshop would work. Now, I feel like someone would be utilizing all of the space in their workshop. So in the middle of the room, you'd have benches that things are working on, and on the outside of the room, you would have your storage, right? Does that make sense? Now, upstairs here, I want to put a couple of more elaborate contraptions, things that are going to take up a little bit more room. And the thing that I want to do with these are things that I'm not going to have to use all the time. Now, some of these things include things like precision mechanisms, etc. I want something that's going to have a little conveyor system that is going to plop and deploy those items at least 5 times, and then like a little brass funnel that'll pick it up once it's done, and if it breaks, whoops, it breaks. Now, speaking of precision mechanism, I'm having this really weird, strange issue where this isn't showing me all of the different create things. So I have a bunch of stuff over here. I don't know if brass hand is one of them. No, brass hand isn't, but a lot of the recipes aren't showing up over here like they're supposed to, and I don't really know why that is. And maybe it's because I haven't made one of those yet, and it's just not in my... Yeah, look at this. I have windmill bearings, but they don't show up over here. So yeah, if anybody has a fix for that, that would be really, really great to know. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this room all fixed up with some workbenchy stuff in the center, things like these depots and presses and mixers and all that sort of stuff sitting in the center, and then some storage and maybe some other contraptions around the outside. And I'll come back to you when I am complete. Alrighty folks, I wanted to bring you back for just a little bit of an update. I've got some storage in here, and we're storing a couple things already. We got some oak just so I can make more drawers and all that sort of stuff, and some andesite and some of our minerals here. And then we have a little workbench area here. It's not much. I'm going to decorate some more, don't worry about it. And then this guy, I don't I don't think I'm gonna use this a lot, so I might have a clutch somewhere, maybe in the floor or something, so I can shut this off, because right now it's drawing all of our windmill power. I tried to make it faster, and if I put one more large cog on this thing, the entire system overstresses, which is incredible that this thing uses that much stress unit, and also that water wheels don't give off that much. Windmills, however, give off an absolute metric ton of stress units. Ta-da! I feel like it's spinning in the wrong direction, and I have a way to increase the output even more with wool as opposed to the logs here. I found a design online that I really liked and just tweaked it a little bit, and I think we are going to replace the logs with wool just to get a little bit more output from it. But this thing's currently pushing out 4,600 stress units, which is incredible for what we need. And I just kind of piped that along down here. That's for the outside decoration, down here and down into our work area. And there's a problem. The windmills are super slow, which means that our mixer and our slicers are not running at all. They need to be faster in order for them to run. And I just made a iron sheet. I'll make another one here just for demonstration. Look at how gruelingly slow this is. Oh my gosh, it's incredibly slow. And the reason I'm making iron sheets is because I want to stick in a little mechanism upstairs, either here or over here, I'm not entirely sure where yet, that is going to make a precision mechanism, and I needed a brass funnel for that. And the brass funnel needs an electron tube, the electron tube needs the iron sheet, and the bog down in the Vallejo, etc., etc. So now I just need a piece of dried kelp and an ingot, and we get ourselves a brass funnel. So we're gonna try and set this up right here, and the way this I think is gonna work is we're gonna have, well, 1, 2, 3 little pokies that'll go across this belt here. If I turn it back on itself this way, that way it can, ooh, we're kind of running out of space already. That way it can run to here and then finish up right here. So the way it'll work is I will have something put here. It'll 1, 2, 3 poke. And then on this section over here, we will grab a barrel with a brass funnel going into it. And then on the filter, we're going to set it for precision mechanism. Now, if the precision mechanism goes across and it's not finished, it's not going to go in here. It'll just loop back around and come back this way and continue on its merry way doing its thing. Now, the only issue I think I'm going to have is billing these with items. I think I can just throw hoppers on top of them. Okay, I can just load it with hoppers. That's great. So let me go back to precision mechanism, small cog, large cog, and nuggets. And there we go. And then the last thing we need is to wire this thing up with power, wire these up with power, which I could probably just do with chain drives, and get everything spinning in the right direction, and we should be on our way to get a precision mechanism. Okay, I think I did it. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. Oh, I gotta put the filter on still, but that's okay. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but hey, hopefully it works. I don't really know. We're just gonna have to put a gold sheet on it and watch it go around super slowly. I just figured this out. You can actually just click and drag from here to put in here. So the allow list for this is now set to a precision mechanism, and we're gonna put a gold sheet on here and put it closer because that's gonna take days, and we'll see what happens. Oh, and it looked like it failed. Oh no. Oh no, all we got back was a cogwheel. There's an 80% chance of success, which means a 100% chance of failure. Well, I'm gonna try this again, and hopefully we actually get one this time. Well, I don't see a thing spinning around, so that means precision mechanism. Heck yeah, here we go. Complex curiosities. And really, I only need this so I can make some speed controllers to make this go faster and the stuff downstairs go faster without having to do all the friggin' cogwheel to a cogwheel to a cogwheel to a cogwheel. It gets absolutely nutty, and it's unsustainable. So I'm glad that we have these things so we can make a whole bunch of these speed controllers. This is gonna be great. Well, I swapped out the logs for wool, and I gotta be honest, I don't really like the way that it looked. I might swap out the dark oak fences for some spruce fences and see if I like that a little bit better, maybe some oak even. But as you can see, this thing is spinning faster, and we even have an extra, gosh, 500, maybe more stress units, 1,500 stress units. which is pretty fantastic. This thing is still going too slow, and the things downstairs are still going too slow, but I did make a rotational speed controller, and with our quests, we got some more precision mechanisms. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this thing works. I think if I just put this here, and then put a large cogwheel in it, I think that's how I access this thing, and if I click and hold to edit... Let's go up to 64. Okay, this thing is not spinning any faster, but the stuff downstairs is also not spinning any faster, and I wonder why that is. Oh, because things need to come out of here, not out of here. Okay, so this needs power in the side, and then you take the power out of this. Okay, so now if I bring this up to, let's do 60. It looks like all of this is going faster. All of that is certainly going faster, and I don't think we haven't gotten overstressed anywhere. Okay. Rotational direction, it's rotating the wrong way, whereas this one is not. I wonder if we swap this with this, if that will rotate the correct way. And that did it. They are rotating the correct way now and going much faster than they were. Okay, this is all going up to speed. Now let's see how far we can crank this before the whole system gets overstressed. Okay, 100. 150 is too much. Yep, that makes sense. 110, 115, nope, too much again. So we can go a max of 118. If we add any other contraption whatsoever, this whole system will break down. But look at how fast we're going here. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. So if I grab an iron ingot, let's see how quickly this thing... Bonk. Oh, that's great. We are now going the wrong way here, though. That's kind of a problem. I think I can fix that just with another gearbox, though. And there we go. Now we're going the right way. Now, the thing about this contraption is I don't need this to run all the time, so I should be able to grab like a gear shift or a clutch. I think it's a clutch, and shut this whole thing off. Yeah, it looks like the way that I have this set up, these 3 cog wheels are actually what's running these deployers, so I'm not going to be able to stick a clutch in here anywhere because it doesn't work with the cog wheels that way. So my solution's not going to work, and that's okay. Essentially what I can do is just pull up my wrench, boom, and we get like, golly, 1,200 more stress units at least. I think this thing was sitting at 460 or 470? 472, so yeah, over 1,200 stress units just by removing this right here. Now, the last thing I would like to put in right now are these crushing wheels before I start decorating the inside of this thing. And here we go, big old pair of spinning stuffies with a clutch on it so I can shut it off and conserve the like 1,700 stress units that it uses for some other contraptions wherever we need them, which means I think while those aren't on, I should be able to, yes, plop that on there and run this thing as well as all the stuff downstairs, which is actually still running very, very quickly. This is incredible. This is all working. It's all coming together. If I turn this on, the whole system overstresses. If I turn it off, this works. And if I pop that off and just, I'm been placing it here just for safekeeping, then I can run this. Great. And you know what, folks? I am actually going to take this wool off of here because every single time that I look at it, I hate it. I can't stand the way it looks. I want the aesthetic more than I want the function of the extra stress units because we can always just, you know, throw another water wheel in if we really need to. Well, hey, folks, guess what? It's done. It's done. I did all of the decoration. Oh my gosh, I'm absolutely in love with it. I think it looks incredible. So over here, I just added a little pathway that goes to our pond with a little bit of seating here. I think it looks really cute. We have some flowers and such out front, and we have a path started that will take us to whatever the next building is going to be. And then I just have some clutter. I got some clutter all over the place. I figured I would be the kind of person, the little engineer who just puts kind of things wherever I feel like they should go. And these frame blocks, they just look so good as decoration. But yeah, we've got clutter coming all the way back here to the back door, and let's pop in here real quick. And on the inside, we just have more clutter. We've got a little bit of function and then clutter and some cake and then clutter. There's just stuff all over the place. I put my bedroll here. I'm gonna go ahead and make another one just so when it hits 90-90, I could just come over here and take a little nippy nap. And then in here we have, hey, guess what? More clutter. I can't help myself. I think it's super, super cute this way. I have not done anything upstairs as far as decoration is concerned. We'll get there eventually when I get more contraptions and stuff in. but I really just absolutely adore the way that this all came together. And let's stand on top of our new workshop and figure out what we did and did not do today. First of all, we did make a wood farm for sure. We got our jetpacks out of the way. We made a workshop, and these last two, unfortunately, I am not going to have time to do today, which means first thing next episode, we're going to go out and find a mountain. Yes, folks, I want to find this mountain just to figure out where we eventually may be putting our more permanent roots. This is going to be our main base for a very long time, I believe, and then that mountain will just be, I guess, a starter base here, and the mountain will be the main one. But, folks, that is unfortunately all the time that I have for today. I got to get this episode out to you. It should have been out today, but hey, you know what? It's coming out tomorrow. Be grateful, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you fighting about? All right, I'm losing my mind, folks. Thank you, everybody. Oh, and special thank you to my patron, Wraith. Thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. Anyways, folks, have a great day. Goodbye.